Amnesty International is warning of the stifling of dissenting voices in that country. The organization says President John Magufuli's government has built up a formidable arsenal of laws to clamp down on the right to freedom and expression and peaceful assembly ahead of the elections. So in recent months, opposition candidates have been arrested on allegedly spurious charges. Amnesty International's Regional Director, Deprose Muchena, joins me now live. A very good evening to you. Sir, thanks indeed for your time. So what do we know of the situation on the ground currently ahead of the elections in that country?
Thank you. Good evening. As you rightfully said, President Magufuli's government has really built up an arsenal of various laws, legislative instruments, regulations that have been deployed in such a manner that you can only conclude that the law is being weaponized to restrict freedoms of assembly, of movement, and of expression on the part of especially political opposition that are contesting for these elections. But we've also seen these restrictions using the law and other legislative instruments to restrict what can be published by the media, where media can go and who can publish what. This has resulted in essentially an attack on access to information and freedom of expression on the part of the media. And then finally, you've seen a systematic attack and restriction of the activities of non-governmental organizations, in particular those that participate or that whose core mandate is election monitoring, human rights work, public interest litigation. I think the objective here is to ensure that there is a limited space for political competition, but also to ensure that these laws that have been built up by the government are in fact selectively applied, because we do not see these very same laws of restrictions being applied on the other side.
And what you say in that report of yours is that these laws are suspicious because they're basically passed in such rapid succession.
Yes, very rapid, one after the other. In fact, there is confusion as to many people who are in civil society, media, and political opposition knowing essentially when they are on the wrong side of the law and when they are on the correct side of the law. The laws come in quick successions with very limited participation. You have, for example, on the 24th of June, if you recall, 2016, President Magufuli introduced a ban on political campaigning and gatherings by political parties from 2016 June to 2020, only lifted around August. And politicians could only participate in campaigning in their own constituencies. But those were not restrictions applied to members of his own party. And with respect to media...
Sorry, Mr. Muchena, we don't have much time on this particular interview. We have to go back to our correspondent in Tanzania. What effect do you think this will have on the credibility and the peacefulness, if I may, of the election in that country?
Well, I mean, I can't quite comment on the outcome of the election. I can only indicate that our report and our investigation indicate that there is serious attack and limitation on freedom of expression. And when freedom of expression is limited, then you are limiting the capacity of people to participate in peaceful processes of choosing their leaders. I think the Tanzanian authorities need really to go back to the spirit of implementing human rights on the ground, both during the elections, before the elections, and importantly after the elections.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening. Amnesty International Regional Director Deprose Muchena.